Why, good morning, good afternoon. This is Charlie Chaz from CGM3 Productions. How are you on this cloudy, rainy day in which we all celebrate? And again, a very, very happy Easter for the ones in in the Christian way. And then to my Jewish friends, that celebrate that way of a blessed Passover. And yet, obviously, this is a blessing for me, and this is a gift for me today. As the third day He is risen, we're all risen because something empowering is happening. You see, what happened, by the way, it is my 59th entry here and my 25th round of chemo. Get that, 25 rounds of chemo. You know, um, it's so wild, and I'll tell you that in a little bit. But I want to tell you about a little bit more of a tradition, what we go through. First of all, for me being Ukrainian and very, very, on my grandmother's side and my mother's side, and everything with the varenke. You may know it's a pierogies, but it's varenke in Ukraine. Kibasa, whether it's smoked or fresh. Quiche, the hard-boiled egg, and and the babka. Babka is always a good thing, especially the egg one. And just see the decorative, and then the hard-boiled eggs, they come out. And by tradition, we sit down at the table, very, very quiet, and we had the blessing. And by the way, um, yesterday was Holy Saturday. Okay, now many of the Christian churches have blessing of the baskets, and this is like it's so special for me because it's blessing of of the nutrients that we get in, the blessings that what we have, and you know, and we pray for that to the next level. But today is very important because the morning is very, very special for me. So there's like the quiche, the kibasa, the babka. I'm trying to remember. Was there, a little bit of, pierogies, but we snack in between in there, and I just can't wait, because it's absolutely amazing with it. So that's the lighting on this, and then the head of the table at any table. It could be the patriarch or it could be the matriarch of the family. They issue a little bit of the quarter of the egg, little slices in the presentation. They hand you the egg. The one who at the head of the table would say, "Christos is class," and in response, it's "Vahistentras." And from my grandmother, from my godfather, from my matriarch side of the family, it's always had a tradition for me. And there's some days, like I said, I do miss that, and it's a somber moment, but it's worth remembering. Now, obviously, with the change of everything and change of appetite, and because of the chemo and what I'm going through right now, it's everything is protein. Protein here, protein there, antioxidants here, antioxidants there. Watching what you eat. And, well, I'll tell you what happened during the week, this past week. But today was a very special day because, I tried not to skip tradition, but I had to. I had the most amazing pancakes, the Tres Leche pancakes over at the diner right down the street here, and it is absolutely delicious. It was absolutely amazing. And when they were open about 7 o'clock in the morning, I said early bird gets its word. So I'm taking pictures and everything else, and it's on social media. Go check my social media account out. Um, it's basically with that. Now, I could tell you this also before I forget. As with chemo brain, you know, with all the medication I'm on and everything else, it's like, um, the Ukrainian tradition. Please look that up online. You could Google it. You could do MSN it. You could do a Wikipedia with it. and then find out what that means. And I know we have a lot of intelligence out there. I mean, there's the Irish tradition, the Italian tradition, um, all traditions that we're celebrating life today. It may be the certain high holiday, the high holy day for many of us, and what we remember and everything. So just check it out, go research it, and then you find out a little bit more with it. Now, that being said, um, it was a very good week last week with the chemo. Uh, 25 rounds. Would you believe it? And it's all mini rounds now. Keep in mind they had to cut back my dosages because of the cirrhosis and the cirrhosis of the liver. In which, like I said, the side effects. Hey guys, I never drink. I had my HPV shots even back in the day with BOCES, and at the educational institutions. But yet I feel so depleted. I feel so like, so I've been drinking a lot of water, a lot of fluids, picking up cases of water here, water there, drinking a lot of water, drink, and trying to be more consistent with it. And then obviously last week, this really got me so bad. And it's like, I said, oh my God, why did I just do that? I had the best meal ever. Good news, I'm eating. This is a good thing, okay? And, I've been craving fish. And fish is very, very good. It's part of the bout. So during the week, right after my chemo session, now this was like like I said, I get home early, I get, everything done. I said, what's going on over right down here? They had this most amazing crab cakes. There are 2 crab cakes. And then underneath it all, the most amazing macaroni and cheese that stuck to your lips. Goodness, let me tell you something. That was a challenge. Let me tell you. So here I am enjoying the food. Yeah, doing a little cereal here, a little bit there. But keep in mind, the medication, I didn't take the medication like right now. I'm back taking the water pills and my calcium supplements. So it's a win-win, but sometimes when you start seeing specials like that, you're tempted, you have that craving. I said, no, I can't do it. Now I could actually eat for the benefit of the doubt. And they want me to eat. They want me to get my strength back, my protein back, which it is. And I'm like, I'm filling up, which is a good thing. I'm gaining some pounds, but at the same time, it's the water pills that that dry you out. And so here I am at 150 something, going back to 148. The last time I was weighing like that, the weakest weight that I felt like was 139. I said, no, this is not going to happen. So I'm trying to keep myself energized, walking, drinking water, keeping myself together, and looking for other ways to eat proportionally. Now, I love the big proportions. Don't get me wrong. It's just that I think going 2 breakfasts, 2 lunches, and 2 dinners, that's perfect. And spread it out throughout the entire day. So you get a little bit more proteins, you get a little bit more, a different taste and variety. Even leftovers are pretty good. Excuse me, as a matter of fact, I had a most amazing protein salad this past week with a friend of mine. Thank you, Nina. I really appreciate it. It was one of those cute restaurants that we actually did. And then last night was absolutely amazing. Got to spend it with my film family or my extended family. Thank you, Charles, and thank you for Alexis for having me over and discussing important things, which I'll tell you about the other video in a couple moments. I'm trying to get my head together with this. But they had steak, baked potatoes, salad, the most amazing broccoli. It was absolutely delicious. So, and we just spent some time and talked. And then obviously I brought, even though soda's good, but I have to have ginger ale. If I have, or even green tea with ginseng and honey. Preferably it should be water, but it's thinner, so it's basically a sweet treat for me. And then I'm like craving other sweets going on, so there you have it like that. But it was an absolutely amazing weekend. Um, a good week, a good solid week. And this entire month of April, oh my goodness, it's doctor appointments left and right. I'm getting to see my physician tomorrow because of issue with one of my fingers. And shout out to Garnett Concord off of Concord Road. That's my that's where I go for my personal care. To the amazing New York Cancer Blood Center associates, you guys are rocking the world. And to later in the month, besides having in 1 week, I'm not kidding, 1 week, not this week, but the following week, it's all doctor's appointments. I have my physical on Monday. Tuesday is my CT scan in the abdomen and the chest to see how everything's going with it, with the chemo. Yeah, I know. That means I have to fast, that means I have to turn into a pumpkin at midnight the night before and fast the entire day until we get this over with. But when you get that kind of crazy and it's like, okay, I want something to eat, watch out. I'm going to be getting something to eat. And then Wednesday is another round. Hopefully, I'm hoping, for another round of chemo. That's 26 rounds. 26 rounds. Go figure that. And then obviously blood work a little bit later. I have some blood work coming up. And at the end is my foot care. So, and thank you to the amazing Dr. Condro. You guys are the best for family foot care out in Liberty. You guys are the best. And I always wanted to go with the best. And that started me years ago because when I had another underlying condition is gout. Now, years ago when I had the gout was when I was working WZAD in the middle of the night. And I always drank soda or coffee, but didn't go to the bathroom as much. So I should have been drinking water. Well, as it turned out, long story short, I get this attack from the toe and the area, and then it just sporadically went elsewhere in the body. I mean, it's been a journey. It's been a fight. And then obviously with the finger, my middle finger here, yeah, it looked like a pimple. That's all I'm going to say. That it looks like a pimple. So basically, with all the pain and everything else, I have to take, inflammatory, basically to make sure the pain is minimized. And again, the chemo along with the gout, the cancer with the gout, that's totally different subjects. So I'm getting that checked out. So, like I said, this is going to be a very active month in the doctor's office. It's going to be outrageous, but we're going to do it. And again, just raising the bar. You're getting up every day. You get that point. And a few friends of mine, especially this one gentleman, shout out to Kurt, and you know who you are. You can't feel bad for yourself. You got to live life. You got to show the support because we're lights to this generation. We are, who we are. We can't let this disease conquer us. We live life. We do what we have to do. Whether it's a passion in coaching, in teaching, in showing the best of the best, and, just supporting each other. And I'm telling you right now, there's an event coming up later in April, and I'm proud to say it because he's really one of my friends. And sometimes a ball buster, Hey, you made me who I am today, so you can't say it. I'm 59 years of age. Come on. But it's Strike Out for Cancer, and I'm looking forward to it later on this month. I think it's like on the 23rd or 24th. Correct me if you can, but let me know when the exact date is so I can come out and support, this great gentleman, this great coach. Obviously, fun fact, he actually, coached here locally. So, but it's one of the big things. We have to support each other in this, in these journeys, whether it's breast cancer, prostate cancer, um, colon cancer, um, something wrong with the blood. It could be something wrong with the marrow. Um, Even like, the hardest ones that you've been through, whether it's kidney, stomach, it could be like that. And you make the best of the best every day. So, so we raise the bar. We're fighters. We're survivors. We're warriors. And just live life. Basically, live life. Because there's a huge amount of love, of prayers, of the faith, of peace, everything. Everything. So, Kurt, continue the fight. You got this. I got this. We're making strides. And it's a good idea to educate others about pancreatic or the liver. What's metastatic? What is stage 4? I mean, even though it's like kind of like critical stage, but at least it's not terminal for me. At least, again, let me remind you, with the pancreatic cancer that I have, it was basically these small lesions. Now, I did not have any masses or anything growing in the back of my on itself, or anything on the liver. It's something internally with the liver, but again, it's always something that I'm grateful for, you know. And again, never ever look down. Never ever say, woe is me. Don't do that, because you have a lot of love. You have a lot of support. I have a lot of love and support. In fact, the heavens above knows about that too, because I guarantee my mom, which she passed away how many years ago? Like, 2011. So we're talking 15 years ago. She passed away from a recurrence from stomach cancer. She would come down right now and kick my butt. Okay? My mom would actually kick my butt. So it would be a wise thing to say, live life to the fullest. Get out there. Do what you happen. I mean, if there's a certain event that's close by, let's do it. And again, I'm grateful for the organizations around here, from Right to Survive of Sullivan County to the many other cancer support groups that are out there. You got to do what you have to do. So we always raise the bar. It's a win for us. And again, let me tell you something. Years upon years, I followed this gentleman, and other actors, coaches, sportscasters, the ones that are close to us. And again, I'm reiterating what the legendary coach of North Carolina State would say, Jim Valvano. Beautiful Jimmy V, and even Dick Vitale. Okay, Jimmy V at his at his speech, he goes on, and then what really caught that quote is, "Don't give up. Don't ever give up." Remember that. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. Cards may go against you, but you know what? You got to keep going on and on and on. So keep doing what you're doing. Make it happen. Raise the bar. There's another line that I love, and bear with me because of the chemo brain. Obviously, for 25 rounds, hey, and a couple of bye weeks and the 59th entry, which is pretty good. God, I mean, here comes the 60th entry coming up. maybe at the end of the week. So, um, wow. Uh, but there's a line in a movie that I always like, Gladiator. Brothers, and I'm including sisters, in what we do in life echoes in eternity. And that's what we're doing right now. We are creating something that's a legacy for us. Now, on top of that, I just sat there and just thinking about perseverance. I have my trophy sitting up here right now, finally. And I look at it every day. I'm like, you got to persevere at these moments, at anything on top of that. And the other quote that I created, and keywords are still in there, legacies are the legends that we create a tribute for us and what we remember and what we do so. So on that, at that point, you feel confident, you feel the strength, and you got to move on. You got to, it's like getting stronger every day, minus the, little conditions here and there, the drawbacks. You got to do what you have to do. And you have to. You have to. All right. So on that note, this is Charlie Chaz from CGM3 Productions, wishing you all a very fantastic holiday with you and yours. I'm actually going to be chilling out, watching some movies, which is a nice thing. Probably head for dinner a little later. And we'll make it happen. Just make it happen. Raise the bar up. And again, to one and all, peace, love on a special day, friendship. And I'm grateful and I'm blessed to have you in my life. And I'm grateful and blessed that you've been watching these entries for the last 10 months. Man, 10 months. Wow. Now it's going to be 11. It's going to be close to a year. It's going to be a little bit later on, but it's just things that, that's flowing. So it's the confidence, and that's what's bringing me through. So, on that point, I'm going to say my farewells for now, but we will meet again, and I guarantee we will meet again. Later.